Today I'll be doing Beyblade physics on Scorpiospear 070 Zap. And for sample bays, I have Unicorn Sting 560 Gear Point and Crimson Garuda 080 Metal Needle. I'll start by going over Scorpiospear's parts and how they work individually. The bit is Zap. It's basically to accelerate what point is to flat. It's bounce type bit, but it's got a large ring for fast movements and a high gear ratio for fast and powerful extreme dashes. The ratchet is 070. From top down, it's very round, so in theory, horizontal attacks won't do anything, but it has 3 points, which make it fairly prominent to vertical attacks or even low horizontal attacks. The blade, a Scorpiospear, has some very prominent metal parts for hard hits, as well as some rounder portions to it. And there's a gimmick that utilizes the turning of the bit. With most Beyblades in X, the bit can turn. And with basic line bays, that also turns the avatar chip in the middle. And the UX gimmick for Scorpiospear takes advantage of that. When the bit locks in to this bit here, it can turn this plastic piece like this, and that makes it so that Scorpiospear can go from this rounder shape into this shape that exposes the metal more for more aggressive hits. But when it does this, there's a bit that comes off on the inside so that you actually can't launch it in this position. You have to launch it when it's in this rounder position. I'm going to go ahead and put it together and do some test battles. So when the bit turns, such as when it hits the extreme line, that changes it into the more aggressive mode. And then any more turning just stays the same. And turning it back turns it back into the rounder shape so that you can launch it. Now I'm going to get into some test battles. First up, Unicorn Sting. 3, 2, 1, let it rip. Scorpiospear won that one. That was actually a very interesting battle, not typical performance I've seen with Scorpiospear. I angled launch Spear to try to get it on the middle of Zap for a little bit to be a bit more calmer, and it actually worked. But you can still see it was moving around a fair bit. It actually stayed in the rounder orientation that match, so yeah, the bit didn't turn at all. Let's go against Crimson Garuda 080 Metal Needle now. 3, 2, 1, let it rip. And Crimson Garuda wins. That is more like the typical performance that I get for Scorpiospear, or at least the stock combo. And as you can see, with the higher gear ratio, it can pull off a very powerful and fast extreme dash. But it also means that the extreme dash takes more stamina than a bit with a more typical gear ratio. So that means after it extreme dashes, it can very easily be outspun by most Beyblades. And that's why I think Zap is probably the weakest part of the Stomp combo. And there's one other bit in regards to the Scorpiospear blade. Given the mode change, I think the 70 height ratchet, the mid height ratchet, is a good pick for this Beyblade. Lower height Beyblades, like Unicorn Sting on this 560, they are going to more easily run into the plastic part when it's in this mode for defense, and then when it switches, it can strike. Whereas taller Beyblades than Scorpiospear, like Crimson Garuda on 080, it doesn't really matter if it's mode changed or not, because the metal is, like, the plastic only covers the metal from below. The metal is still exposed from above, so it can still perform some strong hits even without mode changing like it did in that last battle. And there, if you want to bypass the mode change at all, like if you're using calmer bits like Metal Needle that aren't going to hit the extreme line as much, you're less likely to be able to mode change. There is a way to bypass it, and that is Free Ball, where most bits click on ratchets. Free Ball has a design so that it moves freely, but it'll still integrate to it'll still work on the Scorpiospear blade, which means Scorpiospear's gimmick will still work. It just transitions like right away into the much more easily into the more aggressive form of the blade, with the caveat of Free Ball being, of course, a stamina bit. It's not going to be moving around the stadium as much. But I'll show you some battles with that in play. Scorpiospear 070 Free Ball. It did touch the extreme line a bit up here, but I don't think that would have changed anything. Like, if I just launch it and then pick it up, I guess the bit didn't spin at all there. I don't know. I'll battle against Unicorn Sting next. And Scorpiospear wins. And again, a Scorpiospear Extreme Dash. That battle, Free Ball, even if it's free spinning, isn't immune to extreme dashes. But the Scorpiospear blade actually somewhat counteracts the free spinningness of Free Ball, because once its mode changes, it's not going to be clicking with the ratchet, but it is going to be clicking with the Scorpiospear blade. So it does sort of, yeah, it makes Free Ball no longer free spinning, which is interesting. One obvious thing that to try with the Scorpiospear blade, since it does have that mode change, is to combine it with another mode change part. There currently aren't any ratchets in Beyblade X that have mode changes, but there are bits such as Trance Point I have here. So you can Trance Point is a little differently in that it can cycle back and forth between both modes repeatedly over the course of a battle, whereas Scorpiospear, in one battle it can only mode change once. But you can still plan, such as, like, I can put it in start out in the higher mode, such as when the bit turns, it'll change into the aggressive mode. Let's try that against my sample base. I'll start off with Unicorn Sting. And Scorpiospear wins. I can see it only clicked. It doesn't look like the blade fully mode changed. That's another thing with transpoint is it may not with the height change, it's a little more finicky with, I've noticed, in regards to Scorpiospear's mode change. I'll put it back like that. Go against Crimson Garuda. And Scorpiospear wins. So yeah, I'd like to show off one more battle with it using just normal point, so I can show you how that performs as opposed to Zap. Yeah, transpoint, you can further utilize having a taller, like if you can start out taller, then you can more definitely utilize the defensive plastic to start. And then mode change. It takes 2 twists of the bit to completely mode change Scorpiospear, and then you can be in lower height for hits, and you get the extra resistance from that as to the bit twisting anymore, which may also make extreme dashes more powerful. Yeah, I'll add it to as point and do 2 more sample battles. So you can see how that goes. Ring out, burst something. Gotta reset the Scorpiospear blade. And Scorpiospear wins and somehow turns upside down. So in summary, the Scorpiospear blade has some pretty aggressive attack power, and its mode change makes it pretty versatile, as well as its heavy weight. I haven't mentioned that is one of the heavier blades out right now. I think with the mode change, mid-height ratchet can utilize the mode change best. Zap, I don't really like how low on stamina it is, so I'd recommend changing that into something else, point or transpoint. Transpoint if you want even more dramatic mode change, or if you want to bypass the mode change entirely, use something like Free Ball. And it's a fun blade to use. That's all for now, and thanks for watching.